Hello and welcome to Zepel. Zepel is the easiest way for software product teams to plan, collaborate, and streamline their entire product development efforts and ship quality software on time. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can get started and quickly get maximum value out of Zepel. We'll walk you through an overview of how your Zepel account is structured, some terminology, how you can set up your account and organize your projects with an example. Let's begin by looking at the full hierarchy of Zepel. You'll notice that all projects are housed within an account. An account is your organization. Inside your project is where all the items, boards, features, lists, and sprints reside. I'm sure you're now wondering what they mean and how it all connects. So let's jump in. A project is where members come together to achieve a common goal. A project could be named after a squad, parts of a product, or a client if you're a services company. Next, you have items. Items in Zepel is where you'll spend most of your time since they are the actionable pieces of work. An item can be of type user story, task, subtask, enhancement, or bug. Every item needs to be part of a feature or a list inside your project. Since every squad will collectively be working on new functionalities, you can create a feature for each one and plan them using items. If you're familiar with Agile, think of each feature as an epic. But not everything you build will be a feature, and we get that. Things like technical depths and miscellaneous bugs will come up, which is why Zepel lets you add these items into the projects list. When you're ready to begin work, you can add items from multiple features or from the project list into the sprint and begin working on them. And when it comes to tracking, you can track the progress of each item using boards. Think of boards as workflows through which items flow through. And since a feature will often span across multiple teams and not just development, Zepel lets you create multiple boards through which items can pass through. Now I think all of this will make a lot more sense as I walk you through an example in the app. So let's see how all of this will come together in practice. This is the account for a fictional SaaS product organization called Acme Corp. We can see here they have created separate projects for each squad and named them as web app, Android, and iOS. Let's go in and see what's happening in the web app. We are right now in the Progress tab. This page shows all the features that are being worked on. It shows who's responsible for each feature, its duration, its status, and its progress. The Progress tab has three different views: Kanban, Grid, and a table. The Kanban view is the most popularly used view, since it gives a snapshot of what's happening and helps align every member in the project on what's next. You can also prioritize features on this page via drag and drop, with the highest priority feature being displayed at the top of the to-do column. Now we can see that this feature is currently in progress. So let's click on it and see what's happening. We can see this feature has been spec'd out in detail using different types of items. Some of them have descriptions as denoted by this icon here, and some of them have been added to a sprint. And by going to the list, we can see some items have been added here as well. Creating items in Zepel is as easy as typing into a document. To create an item, all you have to do is hit enter. Click on this icon to the left of the item to change its type, or use the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-S on a Mac or Control-Shift-S on a Windows machine. To set properties, all you have to do is type / and you'll be able to easily assign, set due dates, add estimates, and move it to a board. Alternatively, you can also use the Create Item button from the top to create an item and set its properties. You can also view all of Zepel's shortcuts by clicking on the keyboard icon on the top right corner. Now that we've seen how to plan a feature and create items, let's move on to boards and sprints so you can begin tracking and executing on them. You can create a sprint in Zepel by clicking on the plus icon from the sidebar. Once a sprint is created, head over to any feature or the projects list and right-click on an item to add it to a sprint. You can also bulk select items using your mouse and add them to a sprint. When you're ready to start working on your sprint, set a start and an end date for it. Get a quick overview of the sprint from the top of it. Identify bottlenecks and track how many estimation points you're burning through with a burn up and a burn down report. This brings us to boards in Zepel. The boards page is the Kanban view in Zepel. We can see from the sidebar that there are multiple boards in this project. When we click on the dev board, we can see a set of workflow states that an item will move through that the development team will require, such as to do all the way through done. You'll also notice that this view shows items across all features in this project that is going through this workflow. If we switch to the QA workflow, you will see specific states like tested and staging that a QA team might require. Sometimes you'll need to hand over work from one team to another, for example, from design to development. In such cases, you can move the item from design board to dev board by opening the item, clicking on the board drop-down from the top, and selecting the board you want to move the item to. In this case, I want to move this item from design done to dev to do. So I'll select dev board and to do state from the drop-down. By having the option to accommodate multiple workflows, we are providing you with the flexibility and allowing for a better user experience across your entire organization. You can access these boards from the feature to see just the items from that feature in a specific board. You can also access them from a sprint, which will act as your Scrum board. And of course, you can always add filters to drill in and see only items assigned to a specific user and more. That's it. You should now be able to get started with Zepel and begin working on features together with your team effortlessly. If you have any questions, drop us a line using the chat from within the app or write to us at hello@zepel.io.